Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to show you something that I'm really excited about, and that is this lovely little Hoya Fusion CPL filter. Now you might be wondering why I'm excited about a CPL filter, because they are very common. The reason I'm excited is that for many years now I've been wanting to have the option to use a CPL filter, and I thought that all of the more affordable ones caused a lot of unwanted reflections. In the comparison on the Lens Tip website, where they compared 30 different CPL filters, this was the #1 filter, one of the best CPL filters in the world, as far as I know, at least from the tests that I looked at, and yet is very reasonably priced, especially for the smaller sizes. This 49mm, which is for my Sony 28 and 55mm lenses, this was £35 from Amazon, and for me that was important because I wanted to know that I'm getting a genuine one. For me, there's two very important things about CPL filters. First of all, I need to sometimes dim screens that are visible in my shot, either because I'm filming a tutorial or because I'm actually filming something for a client or a product that has a screen, or for whatever reason there's a screen or a TV or a monitor in my shot, and a CPL filter allows you to dim that screen because it's polarized light. It's light that's coming in one direction like that. Same as light bouncing off certain surfaces, you can dim that. So here, for example, I'm dimming the light bouncing off of these keys right here. So that allows you to get a better dynamic range by reducing certain highlights. And in many situations, this is actually an amazing little hack for improving your dynamic range, essentially lowering a lot of highlights in the image, which is fantastic. And in some situations, you can get an absolutely huge difference with a CPL filter, which is amazing. I mean, that is so much nicer than that. Now, of course, CPL filters have many other uses, like controlling reflections on things like glass and water, but I won't go much into that in this video. Once again, in this example, you can see that we can make a really, really big difference to dynamic range by using the CPL filter. Now, the main reason I haven't been using filters very much in the past few years, if I could avoid it, is that some of them can cause reflections that to me just look really, really bad. So here's an example. I've got a bit of an extreme contrast test. I've got some very bright areas in the image. There's a torch there and then a video light. And then here's some very dark areas and also very dark overall image. And then here, first of all, with a cheap CPL filter, you can see that we have this green sort of reflections of the LED there, and to me that just looks awful, just really, really bad. And that'll happen with softboxes as well, and street lights and stuff like that. And then here's the Hoya Fusion before and after, and moving it around in front of the lens, and even if I move it around, there's essentially zero flaring and zero reflections, which is fantastic. So you can see that when I'm shooting into the sun and I turn the filter, you can see a line sort of spinning around the sun as I turn the filter. Although in real use, you likely won't have that very often because, well, I mean, unless you shoot into the sun like this. Here's another extreme example. This is a dark subject on a very bright background, and I've just put my headphones on a tripod, and then I've got my softbox behind there. This is something you might see in maybe a creative music video or creative photo shoot or something, very, very bright background. And so here in this test, we're going to do a before and after with the Hoya Fusion, and I will have to change my exposure here to sort of match the two. So here's the same image with the ISO raised up and the Hoya filter attached to the camera. There's just no flaring that I can see. And then here, it's an example of where a CPL filter can be really, really useful to control the look of the lighting on your subject. So here you can see as I turn the filter, I'm getting a very different lighting look, and I can control the reflections on the subject. Now, one of the other reasons that this was an important purchase for me right now is that I'm working on a big project that I might need to do some shots in the rain for, and this has a water-resistant coating, basically a coating that will hopefully have water dripping off more quickly rather than stay on the screen and cause an issue in the shot. And specifically here, I need to do time lapses, so the camera does need to actually be there for a while in the rain. Obviously, I'll use a rain cover for the camera, but the front of the lens was getting covered in water, and that was obviously showing up in the image. So hopefully this will improve that as well. So here I'm trying to keep them both at the same angle, and I'm going to just put a bit of water on this and see if it rolls off. And nope, it's leaving a nice big streak. And with the Hoya Fusion, nice big drop, rolls right off. And we can see that's rolling off quite nicely. So not much left on there. And then if I put that in front of the lens, essentially no image quality problems. And that is not bad at all. And the cheap CPL. And yeah, instant image quality loss. Quite bad. Just causing loads of hazing and yeah. This is also stain resistant and anti-static, which could be nice, so we'll test those as well. Touch it quite a lot with my fingers on both sides. Got some nice smudging on there. That's sort of 1, 2. Hoya Fusion. My fingerprints don't seem to be causing quite as much of a mess on it compared to the cheaper one. So here, that's with my fingerprints on both sides. Now this is a smaller filter, but with one wipe, that's, yeah, essentially it's just one wipe to get it clean. I picked up as much dirt as I could from the floor, and then if I do that on both sides of the filter, and then with the Hoya Fusion, blowing on them, the Hoya is instantly perfectly clean, and the other one has kept some pieces of dirt. Now just to make sure, I'm going to do that test again. Quite a bit of dust on both of them. There's a tiny bit more dust stuck to the cheap one compared to the Hoya Fusion. Here, I noticed that this was much, much easier to clean and then had no dust particles left on it after I cleaned it, whereas this one just had loads of tiny ones left over after I cleaned it and had smudges left over as well. When you use a CPL filter, your overall exposure will be reduced a little bit, so just keep that in mind when you're shooting maybe in the dark and you want to get the best low light performance from your camera. So in this example here, we can see that the overall exposure is reduced a little bit by the CPL filter, and the highlights are reduced even more. And you can get magnetic adapters that allow you to clip this onto the camera really quickly, which I might get at some point. For now, I don't really have a big issue with just screwing it on the camera, which, you know, doesn't take me too long. And yeah, for me, that's just not really a big issue. And, you know, removing it, it's just as easy. So I'm kind of fine with that. I'm pretty sure this is mostly going to stay on the camera, so not really a big issue. So my conclusion about the Hoya Fusion is that I absolutely love this little thing. Definitely my favorite new little accessory. And the reason I love it so much is that it's giving me the option to have the benefits of a CPL filter without the issues that normally come with having a CPL filter. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this useful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. And of course, if you want to support this channel, then you can get yours through the links below from B&H, eBay, or Amazon. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!